All right, we have reached Tribulation Day 111. The world continues to spiral downwards into chaos. And as I said yesterday, this tribulation is like a hurricane and it's about to make landfall in the next 30 days. And already we're experiencing the first effects of that landfall. The economic news is horrible. Zero job creation in the month of August. And our president's going to come out and give some kind of jibber-jabber speech next week, promising the world and delivering nothing. Americans' confidence in our government is zero. And you know what? The economic meltdown on a global scale is coming. Money will be devalued. All sorts of crazy stuff happening. There's an article in the New York Times that the government's going to sue the banks. That's not going to solve anything. Right now, the world is a mess. Earthquake activity today, a 6.8 earthquake down in Argentina. I think it was a 6.7 or 6.8 up in Alaska, 6.7 down in Argentina, 4.0 in LA. And I saw a report on the news today that one of our nuclear power plants sustained damage, and I think it was one on the East Coast from the earthquake in Washington, where the reactors are actually being rocked off of their foundations. And what more warning do we need? Fukushima is telling us everything we need to know. And Fukushima is still an utter disaster, leaking radiation into the environment every single day, and it's coming to the US, and nobody is going to do, the government is not going to warn us about it. They think we're so stupid, we're just going to sit here and be completely unaware of it. And I posted an article to the blog on Fukushima. But, that's another big cover-up. We got dark days in front of us, my friends. We got a huge storm approaching New Orleans, bringing floodwaters. We got another hurricane, Katia, coming towards the United States, which, is growing stronger every day, and the computer models have it going straight towards Washington, D.C. And all around the world, whether it's China, wherever, there are hurricanes, famines, disasters. In the Midwest, there's huge fires. And of course, we have the incoming comet, Elenin, which, is smelling more and more like a cover-up every day. Elenin, if you go back to the movie Deep Impact, why is it Elenin seems to be the exact same thing, where Elenin stands for Earth level extinction. Nibiru is near. Everybody better wake the hell up. And I just watched a video last night, and it made a lot of sense, but a possible 3-day eclipse at the end of the month, and then September 29th on the Feast of Trumpets, it looks like Comet Elenin is going to line up in the constellation Virgo, and it basically fulfills the prophecy found in Revelations of the woman with the crown giving birth. Almost letter for letter. If you look at how the stars, Earth, Venus, Saturn, the moon, the sun are all lining up to fulfill that prophecy. Dark days, end times, earth transformation, the likes of which we've never seen. The time is now to prepare. Get some extra supplies, water, food, gas, batteries, whatever you're going to need. And you know what? Don't worry about going into some underground bunker, because all the people that are going to go into the underground bunkers, they're entering into their tombs. They're never going to come up again. So don't worry about them if you're foolish enough to do that. You know, the main thing you got to do is get your head screwed on straight. Figure out where you're putting value. And if the only thing that you're concerned about is your house, your gold, your earthly possessions, then your head's in the wrong place, my friends. You know, it's time to start thinking about where your head is spiritually. You know, where your family is, where your mother, your cousins, your families. Time is short. You know, I wish it wasn't so damn gloomy. You know, I wish it was all rainbows and four-leaf clovers. But, you know, to me, the signs are obvious. You know, once again, it'll be as in the days of Noah, and we got flooding happening everywhere. And it's not that the world's going to be flooded like the days of Noah, but all the flooding points us back to that, you know. And to me, you know, I think what we're all sniffing is, you know, the possible return of the nephilim. You know, the Illuminati, the demonic forces are aligning around the globe. You know, no matter what direction you look at, you know, whether it's war, you know, how we're all being brainwashed by what's, you know, coming out of Hollywood and what's on the mainstream media. They're not telling us the truth. They're telling us what they want us to hear. And I got news for you. You know, I've come to the conclusion there are no aliens. So, you know, the return of the Nephilim, it's not coming from outer space. You know, that's what they want you to believe. You know, that's how they came the first time, coming down, some kind of extraterrestrial Anunnaki or whatever. Don't believe it. You know, the Nephilim, they were created right here on Earth. You know, they're basically a hybrid genetic experimentation. I don't know how the hell it's being done, whether it's actual insemination or just, you know, something in a laboratory petri dish, man. But it doesn't much matter because, you know, it's an abomination. And that's going to be part of the deception and the delusion is, you know, them trying to make us think that they are coming from the stars, because they're not. If anything, they're coming from the bowels of the earth. And, you know, I think that goes into that same warning, you know, to those that are with child. Because, you know, even in World War II, you know, Hitler was all about creating the super race, you know, and he was into the occult, and I'm thinking, you know, he was trying to bring back the Nephilim himself, but, you know, the time wasn't right. But, you know, the thing about the Nephilim, you know, I'm pretty positive, you know, they can't reproduce. You know, it's kind of like, you know, when a horse and a mule mate, you get a donkey, but a donkey can't actually reproduce itself. And I think that's where the Nephilim, you know, that's their story, man, is that they have to be created through crossbreeding, and then, you know, they can't mate with each other. So, you know, it's some kind of horrific process, you know, where it's taking humans and, you know, crossbreeding them. I'm telling you, dark, dark days. You know, the weather here in San Jose is still crazy as ever. And I just watched the forecast for the next week, and it's getting colder by the minute. You know, I'm not necessarily trying to scare the hell out of people, but you know what? Maybe it's time to be scared. You know, because that'll wake you up. You know, once again, the Middle East. You know, we all know what's coming on the 20th. The vote, possible division of Jerusalem, which once again is fulfilling more prophecy. Turkey today kicked the ambassador for Israel out of their country. Things are deteriorating. And, you know, you don't hear one word from our president. You know, that fool's in the White House sitting there promising some kind of stupid speech next week. And we got all hell breaking out. And, you know, I don't know why, man, but the more you look at Hollywood and the movies that are coming out, it's telling us the future, man. You know, Deep Impact, the president was Morgan Freeman, a black guy. And what do we got right now? a black guy in the Oval Office, and you know, I don't think he's being straight with us. He never has been. But you know, he's definitely not dealing with what's in the Middle East. He's not dealing with the radiation leaking out of Fukushima. You know, the New World Order, you know, they want death and destruction. You know, they want to reduce the human population from 7 billion down to, you know, whatever. I don't know what their official number is, you know, half a million, a million, you know, billion, whatever. But we're talking about just messloads of people probably dying, whether it's starvation, earthquakes, or being just shot down or stuffed into a concentration camp. You know, that's exactly how it went down in World War II. And, you know, I think that's part of the master plan by the Illuminati and the demonic, you know, the Greys, you know, if they are demons, and which I do believe they are, you know, that's the horrific thing that's going to happen. And, you know, just like in the days of Jesus, you know, Herod, you know, executed all the babies, you know, trying to get to Jesus. Well, it's something along that level. I don't know. You know, the good news, if anything, is that God is good. You know, God will see us through this. God will be our shield, will give us the strength. Keep that in mind. Think positive. Keep the faith. Alright, I'm going to go get my tribulation on. Keep on rocking.